gossip, negativity, it's like a virus. You know, it's like a computer virus. You know, it's speaking the same language. All that negativity, all that gossip, it speaks the same language that we understand in our head. Just like a computer virus, the virus speaks the same language as a computer, but it's really just meant to destroy, to stop your growth, to halt your happiness. Don't be listening to people who are always negative, complaining, talking about what they can't do. Always want to share their problems with you. That's junk for your brain. That is a virus. It's a parasite. It does nothing good and only takes away. You're blocking your own blessings listening to that garbage. Get those type of people out your life. Don't listen to them. Don't give them no attention. Don't even let them speak to you if they're speaking negativity and gossip and other people's problems and a bunch of BS that's going to clog up, your system, your thoughts with their negativity, with their BS, with their problems. We keeping it positive in our heads so our heads can function properly like a computer functions properly when it's running clean. When it has that virus, that parasite, that computer virus, then it's all running slow. It's not functioning properly. You putting all that gossip, all that bullshit, all that negativity, all that, hearsay in your head. That's a virus. That's a parasite. You ain't going to be reaching your goals. You're not going to see your full financial potential sitting there listening to gossip and BS and negativity and other people's problems and other people's issues. That's a parasite on your brain. You shouldn't be troubled anytime you express an emotion when you hear that garbage, whether it's negativity or the emotion could be sadness. That's clogging up your already happy, functioning, brain, your thoughts. You don't want to put that parasite, that virus of other people's bullshit in your head. No way. No way. We ain't listening to it. We don't want to hear it. Put people in their place if you have to. Tell them you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear any gossip, anybody else's problems. Absolutely not. I want to hear my friends' successes, their positivity, things that motivate me. Things that motivate me to level up myself. I don't want to hear other people's problems. Turn it off. Don't listen. If these are the type of people that's all they got to say, then don't listen. Get them out your life. Cut them off. Cut them out your life. Cut the negativity out your life. You're never going to be able to function at full capacity listening to other people's problems and negativity and gossip. You be about yourself. You handle your own. You ain't got no time for other people's problems and gossip and BS. A lot of people, they're just talking about other people's problems and gossip because they're miserable themselves. They're trying to share misery with you and spread misery. Misery loves company. We ain't got an ear for any of that garbage. You're blocking your own blessings listening to that crap. Get those type of people who always got something negative to say, always talking about other people. Get them out your life. They have no purpose. They can't even find purpose with themselves. Get them out your life.